What's up, YouTube?
YouTube.
What's up, man? Hope everybody's having a great night tonight. So, Swaggo and I won't be in the chat tonight, or won't be discussing the chat tonight. So shout out all of you that are in the chat.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Appreciate you joining us. But we're pre-recording this like an hour or two before we release it. But we might be in the chat. We might be dabbling around in the chat ourselves.
We might say hello to you.
Might say hello to you in the chat.
So by now what? Probably Ron's in there. What's up, Ron?
What's up? Ron the Materator in there holding it down. What's up? Who else would be in there? Aaron the Q-Dog Raider. Mojo's in there.
Yeah.
Matthew Menges. Eye Patch is in there.
Full Metal Mexican.
Full Metal Mex.
Herman Munster.
Absolutely.
Kill Jadis.
Appreciate all of you joining us
24
live.
karat Kev.
Hey, and if none of you are in there and we just shouted you out, then what the heck, man? What's the deal around here?
Where you at?
Where you at?
Where you at, bro?
Watts Raider is probably in there.
Yeah.
Who else? We got a lot of regulars, man. But appreciate it. But Haley was staying up late.
Kevin the Raider Nerd.
Kevin the Raider Nerd's in there. None of these people will be there.
It's going to be you and me in the chat.
You're in the chat. But anyways, appreciate all of you joining us. So, hey, listen. So tonight, before we get started here with this episode, number 169 of Raiders Fan Radio, I've got a couple of things that I would like to play for you. One is a kind of a statement from us, and the other one is a statement from our good friend, Aaron, the Q-Dog Raider. Considering all the events that have gone on in the world lately, we wanted to kick off the show with these couple statements here. So you'll hear from us, and then you'll hear from Aaron, and then we'll hit the intro to the show, and then we'll get underway with episode number 169. What's up, Raider Nation? Your buddy Murf here. And hey, just real quick before we got to tonight's episode, with all the things that have been going on in the world, Swaggo and I were talking about it on whether or not we thought it was even appropriate for us to do our show or not, considering all the more critical things that are going on in the world. But we've heard from you many times over in times past that when things like this happen, that you still want to hear from us, that you still want us to get on the air and do our thing. So we wanted to do that. We wanted to honor that, but then also at the same time, honor what's going on in the world and just kind of give you a quick little feeling on it. And that is, number one, love each other, man. We're called to love one another. Long before we started our journeys in faith, we knew that it was the right thing to love our fellow man, and especially considering our faith, we are continue to call to love our fellow man. And so to not only practice that, but then to educate with that, to take that, to teach it to your family, teach it to your kids. You know, while I may have lack of understanding of what a lot of people have been experiencing the past weeks, or maybe for the entirety of their life, I do understand what it is to be a parent, and I do understand that racism begins in the home, and it is incumbent upon us to not only raise our children appropriately, to not be that way, but to rebel against it when they encounter it in their life. So Raider Nation, we just want to say that we love you. We love you all. And you know, Raider Nation, if you can amplify someone else's voice, if you can be a voice for them when they don't have one, if you can stand for someone when they can't stand, or more importantly, when they do decide to stand, you stand with them, hold their hand, put your arm around them, love on them, and we're all going to get through this stuff together.
Absolutely. And as four white guys standing up here, we don't know what you're going through, but we may not understand it, but we stand with you.
Love you, Raider Nation. And here's Aaron, the Q-Dog Raider.
Well, Murph, I want to thank you for the opportunity to address the nation. We've been through a lot as a nation here in the past, well, to be honest with you, 6 weeks. I mean, with the incident that went down in Glenn County, Georgia, and then, of course, my home state and neighboring city of Louisville, and then now with, everything that's transpiring up in Minneapolis with Mr. George and everything. I was watching several reports, and Steven Jackson, the former NBA basketball player, was on many media outlets expressing the family's concern and his friendship. You know, the deceased, it's just a lot to take in. I know I made a call earlier at the tail end of last week, and I went up and down, the history of the Raiders and why I'm a Raider fan, and the Raiders being on the right side of history as it relates to race relations, and just being at the forefront of decency across all gamuts. I mean, I had mentioned in my call that, Raider Nation is comprised of giants, but also of lovable misfits, and we all seem to gel and pull together in one direction as far as just standing up for the better things in life, a commitment to excellence in living, looking out for your brother. I mean, the black hole. I mean, have you ever seen such an amalgamation of just life together, people in mass, people, even being invited in wearing opposing colors and stuff wasn't as healthy, back in the day. However, we've been accommodating over the years. Now, we're not going to take any mess, but we're human. And that's the condition that we all strive for. Now, a lot of has been made about, the fallout, what precipitated, what led up to the demonstrations. And to be very clear and to reiterate, I have nothing for looters, infiltrators, saboteurs, provocateurs that took advantage of the peaceful demonstrations that were well overdue. But you talk about 400 years, a history, never acknowledging what it is that original sin happened to be in this country. Now, don't get me wrong. This isn't political. It's just, just an acknowledgement that real conversations need to be had, period. Acknowledging the intrinsic wealth of every person, regardless of what their race, their creed might be, who they love, how they love, who they pray to, how they may pray. That's really kind of tethering to, the Bill of Rights and everything we espouse to as a country. We've policed the world for many years. We've shaken our fingers at other countries and societies and economic structures. But whenever that mirror finally got held up to us over time, I mean, how many names do we have to roll down and really recite the injustice that's transpired? I mean, Tamir Rice, Durain Reed, the names go on and on. It's not just the catchy situations or players that, kind of garner all the attention, but on a deeper level, and it brings me back to what it is to be a Raider. It doesn't matter where you come from. Doesn't matter, once again, who you love, how you love, or how you came to be a Raider fan. Matters not. It's about character. It's about commitment to excellence and the greatness of this fan base. We're all inclusive. And I don't want to come off as rambling or anything like that, but I think those Raiders are the higher angels. We're not really loved or revered by our host league, other fans, communities. We couldn't get a stadium built for nearly 50-something odd years. And, it's just things that galvanize us. I mean, this is a fan base that just hasn't had things given to them. We haven't had opportunities, laid at our feet. We haven't had the benefit of calls. Maybe, a wayward eye on a sketchy play or something like that, holy roller. But, by and large, over our history, we just don't get the benefit of the doubt. And that hardens us. With every heartbreak that we get, every season or every missed playoff opportunity, it just puts another scar on our battered hearts. But we persevere together because we are a brotherhood. We are a fanhood. And that commitment to excellence is unwavering no matter, what kind of parts we get. So I say all that in order to make the point that that mirror is right in front of us as a nation. I ask, what do your friends look like? Do they look like you? And if all your friends do look like you, what kind of perspective do you have on the world, on this nation? How can we make America great again if we don't even embrace or at least extend your hand to learn, somebody's culture that does not match your own, whose history doesn't reflect your own? Yet we are all bound by the same laws. So if you see somebody that needs help, by all means, assist them. Raider fans do. If you see somebody that needs a friend, be a friend. Raiders are. So that's pretty much all I have to say about the matter as it sits right now, regardless of what charges are pending, what charges are lodged, who is passed, or who's going to bury ill will or carry the torch for the next generation. Let's just start with friendship. Let's just start there. That's all I've got.
Oakland, LA, Oakland, Vegas, Raider Nation, wherever, forever. You got your old Uncle Mosh and Raiders Fan Radio from Murf's Man Cave, taking a lighter journey into the dark side. Sit back, put your feet up, pop a top, and enjoy the ride. Here we go!
Look left, look right, Kolechnikov, a leaping pass, touchdown!
We miss you, we love you, and we'll see you in the Hall of Fame.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players, you have a great organization, and you tell them one thing, just win, baby. Raiders have scored on the most zany, unbelievable, absolutely impossible dream of a play.
Well, I love this team. I think this team can win. I think this team can win.
What is up, Raider Nation? Your buddy Murf back once again for what we hope to be a fantastic episode of Raiders Fan Radio, episode number 169 of Raiders Fan Radio, coming to you live from here in Murf's Fan Cave. Appreciate all of you joining us tonight. Appreciate everybody that has jumped into the chat already. I can't see you tonight, but I know you're there, and we are definitely there with you in more than spirit. Swaggo and I are probably lurking around the chat room because we're doing this show pre-recorded, aren't we, Swaggo?
Well, yeah.
So without further ado, welcome to the show, Swag Jeff.
Hey, thank you very much. Oh, you noticed my Swag Jeff
Hey,
mug.
we're just happened to catch you sipping out of your Swag Jeff mug. That wasn't planned.
That's nice. That's product placement. Hashtag DC4LCustomTees.com, where you can get stuff like the Swag Jeff mug and this anybody, anywhere, any time zone shirt that I'm wearing tonight. Shout out Dan, DC4L.
Absolutely. And I got my Soul Patrol shirt on.
Oh, dude. Yeah.
Celebrating Willie Brown, Jack Tatum, George Atkinson, and Skip Dr. Death Thomas.
Absolutely.
And so anyway, and so we're going to have some news coming up for you soon about our promotion with DC4L. And yes, support them because Dan's a good dude. But soon we'll have some Raiders Fan Radio swag for you to be able to get from there.
Yeah.
And all the proceeds from the sale of that merchandise will go to support the Stabler XOXO Foundation.
That's right.
And until we get set up with Dan completely, in the meantime, you can go to RaidersFanRadio.com/gear, and that will take you to the Fanatics website. And anything that you buy on the Fanatics website, it won't cost you anything extra. They're just going to give us a kickback, and all the money that we get from them, we're going to give to the Stabler XOXO Foundation. And Swaggo, we're at about $250.
Holy cow.
I know.
Yeah, in the first week of June?
Absolutely, I know. So we're like 10% of our goal right here in the first week of June amongst the COVID.
Perfect.
Yeah, when you know what I mean. And so it's been a challenging time for a lot of folks financially. Yeah. And so to take that into consideration, that we've raised this money already, we can't thank you enough, Raider Nation. You absolutely rock. So just a quick show tonight. For those of you that are in the chat and otherwise, please subscribe to the show. Gosh, Jeff, I'm so thankful for the thousands of people that, like, literally, that's not me patting ourselves on the back here, but we have thousands of you now that are watching us week in, week out. But only a little more than half of you subscribe to it. So
yeah,
hit that button.
Hit the button and win a shirt.
Win a shirt. Smash the bell. I think we're less than like 50 to get to 2,000, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's close.
So it's real close. So once we get there, we're going to give away a bunch of stuff to a lot of you that have subscribed to us. So so please keep those things coming in. Please keep the subscriptions on coming.
America, go to the YouTube right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Go to the YouTube, America, and help us out, and we will send you free stuff, we promise. But definitely support Raiders Fan Radio in that way. And also all the Murf's Fan Cave shows, you can support us by subscribing at your favorite podcast service. iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play. It's actually Apple Podcasts now, but all the services, iHeartRadio, Spotify, you name it, we're there. Just search Murf's Fan Cave. That's MURFS Fan Cave. All right, so as I mentioned, this is episode number 169, and each and every week, Swag Jeff ties in something significant within Raider Nation to our episode number. Swaggo, what you got this week?
Yeah, I do. So episode number 169 of Raiders Fan Radio, we are taking it back to 1977.
Oh, nice.
1977. And
Charlie Garner again?
No, not Charlie Garner. No, No, we're not going to go 2 weeks in a row of Charlie Garner.
1977 Charlie Garner?
Yeah. He was like 4 years old, and he took 169 steps that day. Yeah. No. No, we're going to talk about...
He had his 1977 Fitbit?
Yeah, exactly. No, that was old school. He was counting with his fingers and toes. Yeah. No, we're going to talk about Snake, man.
Oh, I love it.
We're going to talk about
Right
Snake.
on.
1977, Ken Stabler, 2,176 yards passing, 20 touchdowns, a 10-3 record that season, but more importantly, he completed 169
Yes,
passes.
you did. Right
Yeah.
on. Love it. Great stuff. Good stuff, Swaggo.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, anytime you can bust out a Kenny stat, we're all about it.
Oh,
man.
yeah, absolutely.
That's legit. That's legit. That's a good one, man. Appreciate that.
I know, right?
Yeah, good stuff there, Swag.
All right, boys and girls, pay attention. You got your old Uncle Mosh here with an update. That's right. I got some stuff for you. Take out a piece of paper, a pencil, a pen. Heck, use your pocket knife and carve the info into your dashboard as you're driving down the highway. First off, you need to like us on our fan page on Facebook. That's right. Go to Facebook at Raiders Fan Radio Podcast. Don't forget about the Twitter. You know your old Uncle Mosh, he twits now. That's right. Go to at Raiders Fan Radio. Also, don't forget the Instagram at Raiders Fan Radio. Or what about our website? That's right, RaidersFanRadio.com. Heck, if you want to, you can even email us, show at RaidersFanRadio.com, or call us on the Raiders Fan Radio hotline, 909-345-3346. That's 909-345-3346. Don't forget Murf's Fan Cave on the YouTube, where you can get all the show links like the Fan Club Blitz with Splatterhead and Fitz. Find all our stuff on podcast providers like Stitcher, iTunes, and Google Play. All right, did I hit the time limit?
Good.
What's up, Raider Nation? It's your boy, Will Compton. You're listening to Raiders Fan Radio with my boys Murf, Swaggy Jeff, and Uncle Mosh. Tune in because they fucking put out a banger podcast. Murf, Swag, Jeff, and who's the third guy?
Thanks, Will.
Here he is. There he is. What's up?
There he is.
Yeah, there he is. There's the third guy. He's not here tonight.
Uncle Mosh.
Uncle Mosh is on his annual fishing trip that he goes on with some of his best friends.
Oh, my
some of
gosh.
his longest all-time friends. And so he's in Arkansas fishing.
Yeah,
this week.
I was just looking through my feed. You know, like if you scroll through Facebook and like there's an app called Time Hop. Where you can see things that you shared previous or like shared or saved or anything like that in previous years.
Yeah.
Well, a year ago today, I got a picture of Uncle Mosh on the dock flopping around with all the fish. Remember that picture that he took?
Yes.
That video he took.
Absolutely.
A year ago today.
A year ago today. Yeah. That's his annual fishing trip. That's right. So anyway, just me and Swag Jeff here tonight in the fan cave, and Vinny's over there playing games. What's up, Vinoch?
Vinny.
He can't hear us. He's
He
got
can't
his
hear.
headphones on. Yeah. Anyways, all right. So Will Compton there, we heard from. I got my comp jersey in. Swaggo, you got your Bustin' with the Boys stuff on the way.
Dude, yeah.
And we're going to definitely get some love going on social media with that swag once your stuff gets in. We'll shout out Will. If you missed that interview, go back and check it out in your Murph's Fan Cave feed. Jeff and I had an absolute blast talking to Will Compton.
Yes.
And some good stuff from him. He had, when he was with us, he talked about his blog. Compton's got a great piece in there about the recent events that have been going on in the world. And I appreciate him. I appreciate, so many athletes now, and I don't mean to go on too much of a tangent here, but so many athletes now are really stepping outside their comfort zones and really addressing this thing. In particular, a lot of white athletes and people, of prominence, and they should be. And so anyways, I commend them. And so, because that's whole part of that, like we said at the top of this, if you saw our little video segment, it's all about standing with people and representing with people. And so, and being a voice, against, the wrongdoings. Anyway, so Will is the man. He put out a little bit of a hint that he was talking to the Raiders this week.
A little
Did you see that?
tease. Yeah, a little tease on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah, he put out some. He said there was one team he was talking to, and then he put the skull and crossbones out there, which only means one thing, right? It ain't the Buccaneers,
right?
Or their bucking eyes, or their bucking noses, or none of it, right?
Whatever. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So it was us. So it's the Raiders. So hopefully he'll come back. In the meantime, the Raiders have made some moves in free agency already, and we're going to hear from one of those guys that, frankly, Jeff, we hadn't talked about, or at a minimum, we talked about him when he first got signed, but we've talked a lot about, Corey Littleton and like Kwiatkowski, and we've talked a lot about the other guys that have come on board, but we hadn't said much about Jeff Heath.
No.
So let's go check in with Jeff Heath and hear what he had to say about signing with the Raiders.
I had great conversations with Coach Gruden and Mr. Mayock, and just had a great feeling about the spot, especially, being a first year in Las Vegas. just exciting and a new change for everybody involved. It was funny when Coach Gruden was talking to me. He was, during free agency, he's like, I'm going to try to get Witten and Malik Collins too. And then before I even made my decision, I saw like the scroll on ESPN, Malik Collins, Jason Witten signed with the Raiders. I'm like, oh yeah, I think that's my sign. I think I have to go ahead and do this too. It started in college. I played the strong safety role, the free safety role in college, as well as like a kind of a nickel outside linebacker type player, which is becoming a lot more popular in the NFL now. Having that versatility is really what even allowed me to make a career in the NFL. And, obviously on defense, but maybe even more importantly in special teams.
All right, so there we go. So, when we first signed him, that was kind of like, at least my default was like, oh, they signed him to be a special team star.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then you see this guy's highlight reel, and he can make some freaking plays, though, at safety. So I think that he's probably depth along with.
Yeah, he can make plays. We saw him punch the ball out of Derek Carr's hand and it went into the back of the end zone.
I was going to bring that up.
The guy makes plays, and now he's on our team. So, yay, we like that guy.
Yeah, we like that guy. Too bad we're not playing the Cowboys, so he can't make plays against
exactly.
Right? Yeah, so I know we've kind of talked about this before, but okay, so our safety room looks pretty strong, right? So it's going to be obviously Jonathan Abram,
yeah,
right, and taking away the whole free or strong side of the equation, right?
Sure.
So but basically your two starters are Abram and Randall,
yes,
right? That's our two starters.
Yes.
Then Harris and Heath make up the rest of the room, right? As far as safety, and then Joyner, safety /
slot,
right? And then that's it, right? Am I missing somebody?
Well, Dolan Levitt, but he'll probably move back to the practice squad.
Okay.
It's a guy like that probably move back to the practice squad, but yeah, I mean that's
pretty much it, right?
Yeah.
So I think we're going to see probably a lot more Jeff Heath than maybe we planned on, at least originally.
Sure.
Just going back and looking at it, how it's going to play, he almost is almost like the Kwiatkowski of like our secondary signings here, right? Because if you look at like Kwiatkowski was like, he flashed when he had the opportunity, but he wasn't a week in, week out starter. Heath was kind of that same thing. Although that said, he was a captain. That's the other thing I didn't realize about this guy till I was watching his highlight reel.
Yeah.
He wore a C on his chest. So that just fits like entirely in with the theme of all
Okay, let's take another leader on the Raiders.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff there, man. So appreciate the signing of Jeff Heath, and we'll try not to ignore you.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
we've got
another member of Jeff Nation.
Oh my gosh, killing me with that. I know, it's insane, man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you just need to get a jersey with Jeff written on the back.
I know.
Or you know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, and then with the infinity symbol, because you guys don't stop. The Jeffs are coming out of the
woodwork.
Can't
stop, won't stop, man.
So, all right. So another guy that's going to occupy he's in college, he was a safety, but for the Raiders, he's going to be a linebacker. And so I'm talking about Tanner Muse, another guy that okay. So in terms of same theory applied to the draft class though. Talked a lot about Brian Edwards.
Yep.
Talked a lot about Henry Ruggs, of course.
Yep.
Talked a lot about Amik Robertson.
Yeah, Lynn Bowden.
But we haven't talked much about was it John something, the Clemson tackle, or guard?
Yeah.
So shame on me, I don't even remember his last name. And Tanner Muse, also from Clemson. We haven't really talked about these guys a lot, but we are now. So just like with Jeff Heath, Tanner Muse was out there doing an interview this week, and here's what he had to say.
It really hasn't settled yet, just because there's so much craziness going around in my life right now, but I'm just super blessed and humbled by this opportunity, and I think this class is going to be very special. When you look at the picks that we've gotten some steals. I think Brian Edwards, going against him year in, year out in the rivalry, he's a special dude. I know firsthand, but I feel like this class is going to be very special, and just another momentum step going into this new stadium. I'm really looking forward to getting in there, seeing how it is. I said it looked like the Death Star, so the dark side of Tanner Muse is coming out very soon.
I love that.
Where's he from?
Somewhere country as hell.
He sound like an Alabama boy.
He's country
he
as hell.
He sound like
man.
an Alabama boy. But yeah, that's awesome, man. That they're talking about, they're people that were in the same draft. Man, that's a special guy. And yeah, Tanner Muse and our guard from Clemson as well, because now I can't think of his name either. But yeah, I mean, they play South Carolina.
Simpson?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Simpson.
I think it's Simpson.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, because Clemson and South Carolina play every year because they're rivals.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so they know all about each other.
Absolutely. So yeah, good. So good stuff there. But yeah, I didn't realize how country he was. And he looks like a freaking superhero.
Yeah,
like he's got the chiseled head and the bright smile and like the whole thing. You know what I mean? All right. So that said, now Jeff, I can't just let a comment like, "Oh, it looks like the Death Star," and you're going to see the dark side of Tanner. As a Star Wars junkie, and you too, we're all Star Wars fans around here. If I flip the camera around to show you the other half of the fan cave, you know what I'm talking about,
right?
But I can't let that go.
No,
I can't just be like, "Oh, that's great. Look forward to you, Tanner." I had to have some fun with this audio, so I kind of went into the sound booth and I queued up some other dialogue from Star Wars movies, mainly from Darth Vader, and had him play in here with Tanner Muse.
If he could be turned, he would become a powerful ally.
Yes, he would be a great asset. Can it be done?
He will join us or die, Master.
It really hasn't settled yet just because there's so much craziness going around in my life now, but I'm just super blessed and humbled.
You do not yet realize your importance. You have only begun to discover your power. Join me, and I will complete your training. With our combined strength, we can end this destructive conflict and bring order to the galaxy.
Just another momentum step going into this new stadium. I'm really looking forward to getting in there.
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
I said it looked like the Death Star, so the dark side of Tanner Muse is coming out very soon.
So, you have accepted the truth. Indeed, you are powerful.
Welcome to the dark side, Tanner Muse, man.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome.
What's up, everyone? This is Maurice Hurst with the Las Vegas Raiders, and you're listening to Raiders Fan Radio with Murf, Mosh, and Swag Jeff. Just win, baby. Thanks.
So you accept.
So you accept your fate.
Oh, that's so good.
Best. Hey, speaking of these young players, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so this offseason already, and we really should have made this a respect segment. We don't have a respect segment because we got just a quick show tonight. But Josh Jacobs and now Cleveland Farrell have
F to the E to the R to the R to the E to the L to the L. It ain't Farrell.
They have both gotten Raider ink now. They have their shields tattooed on them. And we mentioned last show about how Max Crosby, I'm talking about, said that he needed to get right. And well, sure enough, this week he got right, and now Max Crosby.
Yeah, he listens to the show, and he said, okay, it's time.
It was time for him to get his Raider ink. So now you have these 3 second-year players. And he also, I like it, he got his high school mascot, or not mascot, but logo, whatever, tattooed on it. And so it was kind of cool that he's tattooing his legacy because he's got his Eastern Michigan tattoo also from where he played. And so it's kind of cool he's tattooing his football legacy. Now listen, I hope he's a career Raider.
Oh yeah.
Because otherwise he's going to be sleeving out, you know what I mean, jumping around the league. But
he didn't have that much room left on his arm.
No, that's true. He's pretty tatted up already.
Yeah.
But yeah, major respect to him and to Jacobs and Farrell, man, for doing that, for getting inked up, man. That's strong. You don't see that.
No, yeah.
You don't see that.
And the tattoos are good. It's like what we've talked about before. It's really hard for the Raider logo. I mean, it's a perfect shape, the shield and all that stuff, but it's really hard to do the lettering just right, on
because
skin.
You're shading into it.
Yeah.
Because the color of your skin is the word Raider. So you're not drawing or writing the word Raiders, you're backfilling it in. And so it's a tough tattoo to get. And Mojo's got one, and it's really good. If you get the right artist, you can get him to pull it off. But you got to be really careful, man, because it's the whole reason that on mine it doesn't say Raiders. It's just the Raiders shield with a skull and a bunch of flames and smoke and cracked and all that kind of stuff. But that's why, because I'm I didn't want to put the word because it's so tough to get it. And I had a great tattoo artist. In fact, he did
yeah.
another new one for me here lately.
Yeah,
but
shout out Milt.
Shout out Milt, man. Milt Chavez, he's the best Grace and Glory tattoo here in the borough, man. But yeah, he does great work, and so he could pull it off. But I don't know. I just had like a thing around it. I'm like,
sure, yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah. So, anyways, all right. Next up, let's go to Raiders and pop culture, Swaggo, and this one came to us once again. We've got a new czar in town.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a Raiders and pop culture czar. His name is Chris. He is Bourbon Raider on Twitter.
Yeah.
And Chris now for like, this is like the third or fourth time now, he sent a Raiders and pop culture, and they're great. They're great. And so let me play this for you. I don't think this has any cursing in it. If it does, I'll bleep it. But let's go to stand-up comedian Alonzo Bowden. Do you know who he is? I've heard him a couple of times, mainly on like other people's shows. Like I'm a big fan of Jay Moore's podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And he's been on Jay Moore's podcast before. He's pretty funny guy. Well, anyway, so he's got a whole routine now about the Raiders in Vegas.
I'm a sports fan. I like sports. The Raiders are moving to Vegas. Raider fan, what do you think? Yeah? Really? You think it's a good idea? I don't know. Football players in Las Vegas? I just don't think this is a good idea. You know what I mean? NFL players can get arrested in like Green Bay, Wisconsin. You know what I mean? They find trouble in Jacksonville, Florida. And you're going to turn them loose in Las Vegas? I got nothing against the Raiders, but I'm going to bet against the Raiders every week. Because I don't think they'll ever have a full team. I think they're just going to show up like, the defense got arrested yesterday. Court don't open till Monday. We're going to have to score like 148 points. The kicker's still in strip club. He said he'll be here by halftime.
That's so funny. Daniel Carlson at the strip club. Can't you just see that?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I was about to say, it sounds like a sea bass.
Now that would have been funny.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, that's so funny. The defense got arrested.
The defense. We have to score 148 points to stay in this game.
Court don't open till Monday. That's the best.
So good.
That's so good, man. So appreciate Alonzo Bowden, man, with the good Raider stuff there.
Yeah,
and,
thanks, Bourbon Raider.
Yeah, thank you, Bourbon Raider. Thank you, Chris, man. Appreciate you.
Fading, looking. He's under the gun. He's tied. He's thrown. It is.
All right, here's the portion of the show where we jump into the Sea of Fans mailbag. Appreciate everybody joining us tonight. Appreciate all of you that have downloaded the podcast and all those of you that are on the YouTubes tonight. As I mentioned, just kind of a quick show this week, just kind of in and out. Not a ton of Raider news, but we definitely want to get on the air with you every other week and celebrate One Raider Nation. So we've got some emails to get to. You can email the show at RaidersFanRadio.com. That is show at RaidersFanRadio.com. And you can also call us. And if we play your voicemail on the show 3 times, then we refer to you as a made man or a made woman. The number to call in is 909-345-3346. That's 909-345-3346. And, we always feature our voicemails, and then we feature Aaron the Q-Dog Raider, who's the leader of the Made Men and the Made Women. He's the capo. He's the captain of this crew. And but this week, we didn't have a ton of voicemails to get to this week. We'll play them, and we'll get to them in the following weeks. But considering all the things that have gone on in the world, I wanted to feature Aaron, and I wanted to just play his voicemail. You're going to hear some of the similar sentiment that you heard from him at the top of the show. And that is because Aaron had already made this call, but I reached out to Aaron yesterday and today and asked if he would be willing to come on and just kind of make another statement. And he did, and he was willing to do that. So you'll hear a couple of the same themes, but this is just like, this is one of those things that this is bigger than football. You'll hear it in some of the sentiments from our emails too. It's bigger than football. It's a human condition, and so we want to celebrate, the work and the thought and the, what's being done around the issue. I'm not going to get into dwelling on the issue. We all know what the issues are, but the steps that have been taken and the sentiment that's behind it and what is driving that I want to celebrate, and that we want to amplify. I want to put my money where my mouth is. And when we say, stand for your friend, stand for your brother, be a voice, amplify voice, we mean it. So we're going to play Aaron, and then that's it. So we're going to go to the capo, check in with him, and then we'll read some voicemails after that.
Don Murf, Consigliere Mosh, Underboss Sonny, Sergeant at Arms, the Sizzler, Big Raider Trucker, Mojo from the Pod Show, Ramon the Mean King, and special greetings goes out to Swaggy J. Yes, me and Swag Jeff, we share a birthday, May 23rd
happy birthday.
Annually. Listen, I need you guys to indulge me on this one as capo, a 25-year vet of federal law enforcement with a sworn oath to protect, preserve, and defend the Constitution of the greatest country this world has ever known. At some point, we've all been asked, why are you a Raiders fan? A few years ago, I had a different answer. Today, I have a much deeper and more profound answer. Raider Nation has tended to be on the right side of history. That's it. At the forefront, Al Davis. He'd been the architect of the counterculture that has always been inclusive, innovative, unapologetic, unwavering, non-conforming, but at its core, fair. It mattered, not from whence you came. It doesn't matter, what your story is. It didn't matter, who you pray to or for. It doesn't matter, whether you're Republican or Democrat, liberal or conservative. Just win, baby. That's our commitment to excellence, pure and simple. The town of Oakland was the home of the much maligned and vilified noble Black Panthers. That pride, that imagery was influential in our own team color scheme. It had soul. Remember, our original colors were not silver and black. Al realized a correlation between the team, the town, and the turbulent times. The nation evolved in many ways ahead of social norms. Recently, there was a young quarterback playing football across the bay who knelt to spark awareness of the deaths, brutalities, and subjugation of his underestimated, undervalued, and marginalized people, so-called African Americans. Politically, that position was hijacked by knaves and debated for many manufactured reasons. Recently, there have been a string of killings in Georgia, Kentucky, now Minnesota, of black people, which have, reignited the debate of who may enjoy the opportunity of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, albeit devoid of liberty and justice for all. In this ever-growing dichotomy across the landscape of, this or that groupthink, and there is only one charge. Are you racist, or are you against racism? The answer should be clear, but here we are. No racist has ever simply come out and said, I'm racist. But it seems that, they, tend to relish race and adjacent labels and beliefs. Over the past few months, I've been hard on Derek Carr, for not showing up in games when needed most. But that all changed on May 29th, 2 days after Wild's birthday, mind you, when he stepped up and went on the record and became a leader by simply stating that the hate and the division in our nation has to end. He joined the likes of Carson Wentz, LeBron James, Derrick Rose, John Jones, Steven Jackson, Joe Burrow, and the aforementioned Colin Kaepernick regarding the heartbreaking killing of George Floyd. By speaking up in times of crisis, DC4 has become a leader. Martin Luther King said it best. In the end, we will not be remembered for the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. Oh, shout out Michael Jordan. Respect to Miami Dolphins head coach Brian Flores, who was quoted as saying, I've been privileged to be part of many different circles that have included some of the most powerful and influential people of all different races and genders. The events of the last few weeks have brought some of those memories of those conversations back to light. I vividly remember the Colin Kaepernick conversation. Don't ever disrespect the flag was the phrase that I heard over and over again. This idea that players were kneeling in support of social justice was something some people just couldn't wrap their head around. The outrage I saw in the media and the anger I felt in some of my own private conversations caused me to sever a few long-standing friendships. Lately I can relate. Friendship is essential to the soul. But ask yourself, do all your friends look like you? If so, how can you possibly have broad perspective on something? Anything. Raider Nation is a beautiful gallery of the mighty to lovable misfits. When the perspectives differ from your own, listen, learn. Understanding is the first step to loving. Then as brothers we can dwell together in unity, for the Lord commanded the blessing. Psalm 133. There's no excuse for the looting. There's even less excuse for the hate crimes, prejudice, systemic racism, anti-Semitism, homophobia, xenophobia, and intolerance. The only hate that should be tolerated is for the Chiefs, the Steelers, the Broncos, and the Pats.
Come on.
Even
there you
that,
go.
It's all in good fun. Everything rises and falls on leadership. So this ain't a political rant. This is but a clarion call for this to truly become one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. There's only one nation. Be best, Root.
He's the best, Jeff. He's the absolute best.
He really
man.
is.
He's the best, and we appreciate Aaron, appreciate his friendship, and man, I hope that regardless of what your skin tone is, regardless of what your life experience is, your social economic status, none of that stuff. I hope there's something that you can take away from Aaron's phone call, from his message there.
Yes.
I know there was for me. And so I hope there was for you too out there, Raider Nation. So appreciate you all giving that an ear, and hope that resonates with you in some way or one way or the other.
Yes.
All right. So this week, Swag, there's a couple things that came up here before. Now let's we're gonna jump back into some fun stuff here. I forgot to show you this before the show, Jeff. So we're big fans of Good Morning Football around here. Right?
Well,
I talk about it all the time, and we actually gave Kay Adams quite a bit of respect the other day.
Yes.
Right. So today, Jeff, she was rocking a Raiders sweatshirt on the show. Can you see that? Look at that. Look at Kay rocking.
Oh
the
my
Raider.
gosh!
Isn't that awesome?
I love that.
Yeah, much respect to Kay there, rocking the Raider gear, man.
I love that.
Yeah.
What was that for a segment, or she just
she's just wearing it on the show, man. Isn't that cool?
I love that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, so props to Kay. Okay, so let's get into some emails, and then Jeff's going to award us the Sizzler Award, and that's when we give out the best, the award for the best call or email this week. And since we're not doing calls, we're just doing emails. One of you is going to get the Sizzler Award tonight. So you want to start off?
I'll start it.
All right.
I'll start it. Murph, Uncle Mosh, Swag Jeff, Vinny, and Raider Nation. I can't wait for the season to get underway. There's so much to look forward to. A great new stadium, something the Raiders haven't had since 1966. That's right, 1966. I don't know how long it'll take for me to get used to watching home games without a baseball infield. Probably about one series. So speaking of Carr, I think he's gonna have a great season if he doesn't get hurt. And he also, this is gonna be the third year in the same system, a first for him. I just don't get the excitement for Mariota. He's a high test paid backup in the league, making just less than Teddy Bridgewater, who's a starter. Many fans' favorite player is the number 2 quarterback until he starts. I think Carr will have such a great year that Marcus Mariota will be an expensive clipboard holder. Raider Nation forever. Frank from NorCal, proud man. And you know what? And I hope you're right.
Yeah.
I hope he's right.
Yeah.
I hope he's right.
Absolutely. Yeah, because we want Derek to succeed.
Yeah,
We want him to be, MVP Carr of 2016.
Yeah.
And he's got all the weapons around him certainly to do it.
Oh my gosh,
So,
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So appreciate you, Frank from NorCal. All right, we've got Matthew Menges. I'm not to paraphrasing these next couple because we're running out of time quick tonight. Swag's got a heart out. He's got to go back and be a dad, so I want to respect that. And so anyways, hello, RFR family. I write to you on the somber day in our national history. I'm writing as I'm writing this message, another person is losing a battle against COVID. A group of Americans being tear gassed, threats of military action, with lots of protests against injustice in our great country. It's sad to see everywhere, and it's sad to turn on the TV. It's time for us to put our fandom aside and to make progress. This is Matthew Menges here, goes on to say that he feels like we've made little progress. Matthew, I don't know. I'm kind of old enough now where I've seen there has been progress. It's not as much as we would like, certainly, clearly. But I would say all hope is not lost. But he goes on to just kind of plead with Raider Nation, with his fellow Americans. Don't sit on the sidelines. Register to vote. Go and vote. And we always encourage that as well, regardless of where you come out politically. Go vote. People fight and die for the right to vote every day in this world.
Yes.
So exercise your right to do that. And so anyway, so I appreciate Matthew and his sentiment here. He closes out. Everyone is hugging their families a little tighter, locking their doors. We pray for those that we've lost. And thank you for listening. Matthew, you're welcome. And we appreciate you, brother, and appreciate that sentiment.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What's up, Murf, Swaggy, and the one and only Uncle Mosh? Hope all is well and everyone is safe. I won't get political on here because I hate politics. I just want to thank everyone who shared their stance against police brutality and racial discrimination. We're all human beings and deserve to be treated as such. Now that I got that out of the way, here we go. As I listen to the RFR rundown, you guys bring up a few things that I wanted to bring up. First, Marcel Reese is my favorite Raider of all time.
Right on.
He was our only Pro Bowler for a while and very versatile. Fullback, running back, and you could put him in at tight end like I did on Madden for a long time as well.
Yep.
Second, speaking of versatility, Tywan Jones, running back and cornerback. I know he will have a hell of a football life episode, especially after his big plays in the playoffs this past season.
Yeah.
Reese plus Jones equals Lynn Bowden Jr., in my opinion.
Oh, good call.
Yeah. Third, just a few more draft pick misses that we talked about. In 2017, we picked Gary Conley 24th overall. Tre'Davious White went 27, and T.J. Watt went 30. In 2013, DJ Hayden went 12th overall. Xavier Rhodes went 25th. Difference makers on defense. We all know what they can do these days. The Raiders have had a lot of draft pick misses. Fourth is just simply the best. Fourth, just to simply say this is the best way I could. The city of Oakland officials remind me of the ex who swears that they would never leave and that you wouldn't be able to find anyone else better who believes in your dreams. Then, when we try to leave, they take things from your house just to be petty. No, you can't have my dog. No, you can't have my laptop. Fifth and the last thing, why in the hell is that frozen foot I like social media more than money non-essential, no common sense having I don't like me food touching crybaby still wearing a Raider helmet? Like, why don't you wear your old helmet since you can't get fined for wearing it now that your NFL career's over? Everyone wants to be a Raider, but just not everyone is built for it.
Amen.
With that being said, you guys keep the show up and stay safe out there. With all the love and respect, Ty the Raider.
Hey.
P.S. Wednesday afternoon, I'll be going to a place in Alameda called Domenico's. Ever heard of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. He says I'll be getting all the cannolis to eat while watching the show, and I would like to know suggestions on what I should get next time while I'm there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
First off, great email.
Oh my gosh, an amazing email.
Yeah, great email, and a lot of those draft picks, man. Those were some rough times.
Yeah, those ones hurt a little bit.
Hopefully, we've turned a corner. Seems to be we're 2 years in a row. I love the comparison of the two guys combined to make Lynn Bowden. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff there, Ty. Or as Mosh says, ta-da, Raider.
Ta-da, Raider.
So appreciate that. All right, so at Domenico's, Mosh likes the Lanny.
Mosh likes the Lanny, and he also likes the Reuben.
The Reuben.
He gets the Reuben with the Thousand Island and with the spicy mustard. He gets it both.
Yeah, absolutely. So he goes both there. I'm kind of a healthy eater nowadays, so I get the Domenico's salad more than anything. And it's the bomb, man. It's great. It's got all kinds of Parmesan cheese and the Italian cured ham and all that. And and provolone, and it's really, really good. So if you want something on the lighter side of it, then I would say get that. Mosh would say the Reuben. What about you, Swaggo?
I mean, I get the Soprano every time.
The Soprano.
And
that
the Soprano's good, yeah.
It's spicy, right? That's the one with the hot Italian salami and all that, which is basically kind of like chorizo.
Yeah, and I got the Italian beef last time.
Oh, that's
right. And that one's killer too.
Yeah. Oh
it's
God,
really good.
so
With the au
food,
jus sauce. Yeah.
It's kind of one of those places where nothing sucks. It's you know what I mean. Their cheesecake is good. No.
And he's eating cannolis as we speak. So you can't go wrong there either.
You can't go wrong. Those cannoli are the bomb.
Oh my gosh.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, last one here. Then we got to get out. Evening, guys. Hope you're all okay. It's that time of year where everything is pretty quiet in the NFL. Sadly, the same can't be said for the rest of the U.S. at the moment. It's a volatile time with some horrific scenes being shown around the world. Hopefully, everything will be resolved soon and calm will return to your great country. Amen, Paul. And today, just before we got on the air, they upgraded the charges to the one officer to second degree murder and then charged the rest of the officers. Still not enough, if you ask me, but what do I know? But I will tell you this, it's headed the right direction, finally.
Yeah.
Look at all it took.
Right.
Oh my, whatever. I don't want to get into that. Okay. As I said, it's pretty quiet at the minute around football, so mercifully the podcasts are keeping things ticking over. Then last week a comment was made, RFR rundown, and my head was filled with images I can't unsee. As Murf and Swaggo were discussing Murf's attendance in the opening game of the season, Swaggo dropped the bomb of hiding in Mojo's meat bag. What in the name of all things holy is that? I've had all sorts of images pass through my mind, ranging from sensible tailgate solutions to Stephen King-based horror. The Just Blog Baby site had an article talking about 5 what-ifs throughout Raiders history. I don't need to depress you with the details, but here they are. Tuck rule, Bo Jackson staying healthy, Jamarcus #1 draft pick, John Gruden trade, Derek Carr breaking his leg. I'm sure there are more and more that sprung to mind. He talks about even Oakland versus LA building one of them if they would have built us a stadium. Paul, this is Paul, by the way, goes on to say that particularly prominent at the minute, the news of the Raiders PSL sales increasing over $550 million. Rams and Chargers can't even match that combined. Huge embarrassment to the decision makers at the NFL. Yeah, they moved the wrong team to LA.
Right.
Like, come on, man. Who didn't? Whatever. You could ask anybody and said, what NFL team does LA support? Resounding answer would have been the Raiders.
Yeah.
Kiljadist asked in his excellent email last episode, who are the rival fans you dislike most? For him, he says it's the Chiefs every day, 100% fake on every level. No discernible history other than like maybe Lamar Hunt, who was, even then, he was a rival of Al Davis. Here's another 50 years of you winning nothing, dumbasses. And while I'm having a rant on the topic of dislike, I was asked on a social media who I dislike most from NFL history, an all-time capo hit list, if you will. As players should be Elway, Rivers, Shanahan, Schottenheimer, Walt Coleman, Gene Steratore, and Pete Rozelle. There you go. I'm with you on that one, brother. Out of that little group, Rivers would win, though. And let's face it, the only thing he will ever win, other than 15-time champion at the Kids R Us Awards for Shopper of the Year. That's funny. Finally, this week, the NFL has hinted they could return with social distancing measures in place. I'm not sure how that would work, but it's good news for Chargers fans, and 10 of them could use a family-sized face mask. That's funny. Love and best wishes, RFR family. Stay safe, everybody. Love you, Raider Nation. His Lordship, Paul Edgerton, Shropshire, Mississippi, Pauly Award winner 2019, BRT Sizzler scorekeeper, proud made man, five-time winner of the Raiders Fan Radio BRT Sizzler Award.
All right. Absolutely. Oh, my gosh. We went through those emails in about 8 minutes.
I know we had to, man.
Yeah, we went through it like...
We're running out of time. My life is running out of lifespan.
Yeah, we got a hard out tonight, man.
Well, yeah, we do.
We're short-timing it tonight.
Yeah, so we started the emails with Frank from NorCal, who said he's pumped about the new stadium and that Carr's the guy. Then we talked to Matthew Menges, who gave us his take on the world and all that stuff, and that his thoughts and prayers are with everybody. And Paul wants to know what the hell is a meat bag. But the winner of the Sizzler Award this week goes to a guy that calls the Oakland people, or the Oakland officials, his ex-girlfriend, and he's going to Domenico's, Ty the Raider.
I am the Sizzler.
Sizzler.
Sizzler. Sizzler.
Sizzler.
Sizzler. Sizzler. We are Metallica, and we are here for your Oakland Raiders.
You know why we are here, and we ain't playing around today.
From The Walking Dead to errant Jedi Knights, Raiders fans are a rogues gallery.
Appreciate you joining us here live tonight at Murf's Fan Cave for Raiders Fan Radio, episode number 169. Just a quick little show coming at you this week. Swaggo and I will be back next week with another RFR rundown.
Yeah.
And there's the Lost Tales from the Nation episode that we recorded
oh my gosh, we recorded a million years ago.
Like 3 weeks ago around the draft, and I still haven't released it yet. So expect to see that coming up on your Murf's Fan Cave feed soon. Appreciate everybody that joined us here tonight. Appreciate you joining us in the chat. Please support us by subscribing to our YouTube channel at Murf's Fan Cave, and also check us out on any podcast service at Murf's Fan Cave. Swaggo, thanks for being here tonight. Take us home.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Raiders Fan Radio. Make sure to find us on all social media platforms, Facebook.com at Raiders Fan Radio Podcast, Instagram and Twitter at Raiders Fan Radio. Of course, subscribe to us on YouTube at Murf's Fan Cave. Everyone out there listening, just love each other, man. Love each other. Doesn't matter what the color of your skin is, anything like that. Let's just all love. Let's be a family. That's what America is. So thanks again for joining. We love you, Raider Nation. And don't forget, what happens in Vegas started in Oakland. Good night, everybody. Good night.
The only hate that should be tolerated is for the Chiefs, the Steelers, the Broncos, and the Pats.
Come on.
Even
there you
that,
go.
It's all in good fun.